Thank you. Also at 6, we're learning more about the fatal shooting of a Seneca teenager by a police officer.
Zachary Hammond's family attorney released a second autopsy today. The family believes the new report contradicts police initial accounts of that. We have a chance to talk with the members of that family. But first, 7 on your sides, Christine Brown spoke with a deputy coroner who performed that autopsy. She's live now with the details. Christine.
Our initial report was from the Oconee County coroner who performed the first autopsy. We got another statement from him today, and he still says that Zachary Hammond was shot somewhere in the left side of his chest and in the collarbone. He was also shot through an open driver's side window. And we also talked to the deputy coroner here at the Greenville County Coroner's Office today, and he performed that second autopsy. He says while his findings are likely similar to the Oconee County coroner, that he doesn't believe Hammond was shot in the front. He also says he wasn't shot in the chest.
First wound enters here, and the second wound enters here.
Dr. James Fulcher was asked by Zachary Hammond's family lawyer to perform a second autopsy.
They were uneasy about the small community in Oconee.
Attorney Eric Bland, who represents the family, says he and the family don't believe the autopsy and police's initial statement on the shooting match up. Seneca Police Chief John Covington says that his unidentified officer shot Hammond out of self-defense. Covington said Hammond drove his car at the officer and the shots were fired.
These wounds are consistent with the shots coming from the side of the vehicle, not from the front of the vehicle or the back of the vehicle. Per the lawyer's report, there are no holes in the front of the car or the back of the car.
But Attorney Bland believes the new autopsy shows Hammond was shot from behind and that the car wasn't moving. He doesn't believe there was a threat.
So it also came from behind, or the other option is that he was leaning forward in the seat of his vehicle.
Oconee County Coroner Carl Addis says Hammond was shot in the left side of his chest and his collarbone. While those findings are similar to the new autopsy, Deputy Coroner Fulcher says the fatal wound wasn't to the chest, but he believes their findings aren't much different.
I doubt that I have found anything that the first autopsy did not uncover. It's just a second opinion.
We reached out to Chief Covington for any updates. He says at this time they are not giving any new statements until the SLED investigation is over. But he says his thoughts and prayers go out to the Hammond family.
It's something new and something we hope we never have to deal with again.
Deputy Coroner Fulcher says the wound here on Hammond didn't go all the way through. That's how he knows that he was either shot from behind or that Hammond was leaning forward. Now, he also says that he has not seen the investigation's reports. He also has not seen the initial autopsy to compare any differences. We did reach out to SLED today to get any updates. They have only said that the investigation is active and ongoing. I'm Christine Brown reporting live in Greenville, 7 on your side.
Thank you, Christine. Meanwhile, Hammond's parents are still mourning the loss of their son and say they're determined to fight back. 7 on your side's Addie Hampton had a chance to sit down with those parents and find out more. Addie.
During our interview today, it was very difficult for the parents of Zachary Hammond to hold back their tears and emotions as they described their son and their profound loss. They say they will never find closure, but they are hoping for some justice in the death of their son.
Following the release of that independent autopsy report, the Hammonds and their attorney Eric Bland are convinced their son was murdered. They say that's the very word coroner Carl Addis used when describing Hammond's death to them at the hands of that Seneca police officer whose name has still not been released. In a statement, Addis denied calling it murder, rather calling the matter of death homicide. That's the legal term, but it does not determine whether it's criminal or justified, according to a statement by Solicitor Chrissy Adams. Bland says they hope their legal action will force answers from the police officer on what happened that day. Meanwhile, the Hammonds say their son's death and the matter surrounding it is haunting them at night.
I don't really know how you cope with it. I'm still coming to grips with how to cope with the loss of Zach. It feels like part of you are missing. That's what it feels like there's part of you that now is no longer there. And I mean, you wake up in the middle of the night hoping that it's not real.
Coming up tonight at 11, we hear more from the Hammond family as well as their attorney. We also take a look at some witness video from the scene just moments after that shooting. I'm reporting from Greenville. Addie Hampton, 7 on your side.